just in case you mistake it for Puente Antiguo, Kentucky. Yes, there's a gigantic lightning-filled space tornado 50 feet in front of you. I think we can all agree that driving into it is definitely the smartest move. It's 965 AD when the Frost Giants did battle with the Asgardians on planet Earth. That's like only 1,000 years ago. We don't have any record of that whatsoever. No one wrote anything down. I mean, we've got Plato's works, and that lived 1,400 years before this. Asgard is such a beautiful realm, filled with gorgeous CGI.
So long entrusted with the mighty hammer Mjolnir, its power has no equal.
Well, except for the Iron Man suit in the Avengers, and Hulk in the Avengers, and Loki's spear later on in this very movie.
But you're not king!
Thor's really angry after his dad bitch slaps him in the weapons vault, but he waits until he's all the way back home to express that anger. I mean, how can he be so in control of his emotions that he can travel all the way back home without crushing and breaking something, but also be so out of control that he has to upend a table in his own home to feel better? Wow, this room is like a shrine to nipples. Are you telling me he didn't get one speck of blood or saliva or frost beast brains on him?
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy.
Odin leaves it up to the hammer to determine the definition of worthy. I mean, could it decide to give itself to James Worthy? So, where's the correct window from when you hit Thor? Natalie Portman isn't making out with Mila Kunis in this scene. This town's name means ancient bridge. The Spanish explored New Mexico in the 16th century, so even if the town was founded back then, someone would have had to remember the story of the battle between the Frost Giants and Asgard that happened in 10th century Norway, the one no one ever bothered to write down in the history books. Either that or it's just a huge coincidence that the town named Ancient Bridge is where the Rainbow Bridge connects to Earth, which would be stupid.
No, it can't be.
One of you hung this picture on the board without noticing the man shape in it? Odin must have forgotten to take away Thor's just as impressive Houdini powers. So no one was watching Thor after he took on the entire hospital and the police were called to investigate? Movie solves the how are they gonna find Thor problem by having him wander aimlessly behind the van as it's moving. Also, after the big fighting incident, how does he just get up and walk out of the hospital with no one seeing him, complete with his patient scrub and everything? Oh, okay, so Loki is a smaller frost giant that Odin adopted as his own son. It all makes sense now. Wait, how can he look human again? Hey, how's the quality of that furniture they sell down there in Puente Antiguo? That's just okay. Are you honestly trying to tell me that a town of 2,000 people can sustain a PC gaming business? I lived in a town of 2,000 people, and these f***ers would be thrilled to have a stoplight and a 7-Eleven. They ain't got no PC gaming cafe, okay? This town is home of the Vikings, an appropriate mascot. Everyone remembers those old tales where Eric the Red sailed the Gulf of Mexico and shaped everything we know about the western United States.
I knew the scientist. The pioneer in gamma radiation.
We're not saying his name, though, because honestly, we're all just trying to forget those two movies. This town of 2,000 might have a pet store, but even if they did, they would not so grossly overstock the puppies. They're basically sentencing half these puppies to death by ordering so many for a town this small.
I need a horse!
Wait a second, they said goodbye to Thor and then went and found S.H.I.E.L.D. stealing all their stuff and then sat on the roof for a while and moaned about it, and then went to the library to look up information, and only now has Thor asked someone for a horse? What the f*** was he doing for the last hour in a town that's 2 blocks wide? They said it was 50 miles to the Hammer site, and while Jane and Thor are driving there, it's broad daylight. And then they try and sneak in a quick sunset shot right at the end, but do their faces in this shot look bathed in sunset glow? No. No, they do not. And then when we cut back to them after a quick Asgard visit, it's the dead of night. The sun has moved like 12 hours worth of distance in 50 miles. Super top secret government alien meteorite site, guarded by no one and completely approachable. Wait, they're monitoring the airspace, but not the dirt roads right outside their walls? Oh, I see. They only care about security once it's already been breached. Got it. Nobody saw a big blonde dude approaching or tearing up the fence around a highly secure area?
Hi, Eric. It's me.
Even though the Hammer is putting out tons of electromagnetic energy and causing cell phone reception to go crazy, and she's in the middle of the desert, Jane can still make a phone call with no problem. This mud wrestling scene is sadly free of both hot female co-stars.
Alright, show's over.
Movie introduces Hawkeye and he does jack sh**. This establishing shot brought to you by Southwest Airlines. If you're Loki and you're basically hiding yourself while you're here, why bother to wear a suit and tie? Movie just asks us to accept that Loki can be invisible without any prior explanation of his abilities.
It says here that he's an MD.
Well, he is. Or he was.
Coulson obviously doesn't believe Eric's stupid story, and Thor just got finished breaking into a government site and beat up a bunch of his men, but he lets him go so they can follow him, to that evil layer of astrophysicists they already know about. Now Loki goes to the Frost Giants wearing his usual Loki wardrobe. Did he bring a change of clothes with him while he was transporting realm to realm? Kashi Goleen Crunch.
This Hubble telescope.
Thor speaks English, but somehow thinks Hubble is pronounced Hubble. Either that or he believes mispronouncing it will lead to a moment with Jane and she'll have sex with him later.
Alfheim. Anaheim.
Did he just say Anaheim? Man, Disneyland is more magical than I thought.
Ensure my brother does not return.
Why does Loki tell the Destroyer to keep Thor from coming back to Asgard when he was just gonna sack the Gatekeeper anyway?
I am truly sorry.
Movie's not interested in showing us if Loki can see what the Destroyer sees, or if he can see things telepathically, or if he's just guessing. So wait, does Loki have control over the Destroyer all the way back at Asgard? Then why did he command it to destroy everything if he had control all along? Hero has to die to prove his worthiness cliché. Man, if there had just been some attack that the Destroyer could have used other than that wicked punch, he could have stopped this before it started. Just one other attack I can't think of right now. Maybe future Destroyers will have better capabilities. This war between the gods in the middle of the small town just makes things a little dusty. No other real damage occurs, even though there were tornado-like winds and explosions.
I'm now! If you can hear me, we need you now!
What? Loki just kept Heimdall standing here in ice and never once thought that could backfire? If you weren't going to kill the guy, you should have at least moved him to storage, or immortal jail, or something.
I will return for you.
Except when I'm hanging out with the Avengers, I might be too busy then. Let's talk about Loki's plan. It's totally dumb. The whole plan revolves around tricking the Frost Giants to come to Asgard so that he can pull the rug out from under them, then destroy them all, thereby winning his father's love and become the true king of Asgard. But he makes huge mistakes unbecoming of an immortal. First, why even bother with Thor? Even if Thor gets his hammer back, the whole key to him getting back to Asgard is Heimdall, whom he froze and stupidly left at the Bifrost Gate. Secondly, how does he explain all this to Odin when he recovers? I totally sent the Destroyer down to kill Thor, and I froze your extremely loyal and honest gatekeeper Heimdall, but hey, I killed all those Frost Giants that you banished Thor for trying to kill, because they totally snuck in and tried to kill you. How'd they get here? Heimdall did it.
Destroy the bridge, you'll let us see her again!
Nah, I'm sure he can use one of the other passages between realms that you told Heimdall about earlier and that you've been using yourself throughout the movie.
Can you see her? Yes.
Hey, can you tell me what she's wearing? Who should we get to direct this superhero movie? I know. Well, we can't get Matthew Vaughn, so we might as well get that guy who directed all those Shakespeare movies. End credit scene wasted on stupid setup for Avengers Tesseract storyline.
Well, I guess that's worth a look. Well, I guess that's worth a look.
Wait, what? Loki is controlling this dude? I mean, yeah, in the Avengers he taps chests and controls people. Even this same Doctor dude, but he hasn't done that yet, has he? Don't they get a blue glaze to their eyes when they're under Loki's mind control spell?
Who led you into the most glorious of battles?
You did.
Who controls the British crown? Who keeps the metric system down? We do. We do.
Nicholas! Through already!
I'm on 17!
Ah! I have no pointy yet outscoring me!
Initiate drop sequence. On my mark.
I had no idea.
Forgotten all that we have done together. Fandral, Hogan, who
Burn the village!
You did.
and Volstagg.
Raped the horses!
You did.
Yes. And who
Rode off on the women!
I did.
True, but I supported you, Sif.
Okay, Ringo, you win. It's yours.
Open it. Is that what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.